Good evening and welcome to Newswatch, your source for all news impacting southeastern Ohio. I'm Ben Schwartz. Thanks for joining us. Charges are pending against 3 suspects believed to be involved in Saturday's fire at the old River Valley High School in Cheshire. According to the Gallia County Sheriff and Ohio Fire Marshal's offices, the suspects were identified after authorities were shown a video of the individuals inside the building at the start of the fire. The investigation is still ongoing. A Portsmouth Medical Center patient set himself and a hospital room on fire late Sunday morning. The patient received burns to over 10% of his body. A nurse who tried to help the patient also received minor burns. Firefighters quickly extinguished the blaze but did not offer any estimate of damage done to the room. There were no reports of the patient facing criminal charges. The State Fire Marshal's office is offering a $5,000 reward for information regarding a fire in Ross County. A vacant house in Bainbridge caught on fire last night. Officials believe it was arson. They are urging anyone with information to call 800-589-2728 with any information regarding the incident. After a month of negotiations, the Ohio State House agreed on a budget. The current budget was set to expire tomorrow, but lawmakers were able to reach an agreement at the 11th hour, according to the Columbus Dispatch. The new budget still has the annual $1.2 billion tax break for local businesses. The budget also includes a 4% across-the-board tax cut. The budget is expected to be finalized later tonight. Governor DeWine is leading a push to increase ride inspectors for the state fair. Ride safety has drawn increased attention after a man died after being thrown from a ride at the 2017 state fair. A young woman who was among the injured died more than a year later. DeWine says he understands concerns about ride safety. He says safety is, quote, the essential function of government.
Hello, I'm forecaster Blake Courtesy. It's pretty warm out there at the moment. Even at 6 p.m., it's 84 degrees for our temperature right now. We're going to have some pop-up showers as we go into the overnight hours tonight. I'll get more than that in just a few seconds. Humidity at 60% at the moment, while south winds at 0 to 5 miles per hour. Taking a look around the region, 87 in Ripley, 88 at that one spot down there in Ironton, 85 up in Newark, and 85 over in Cambridge as well. We are under some cloudy skies, but we're going to have some pop-up showers possibly. Let's take a look at precipcast. We do have this area of rain showers over in Indiana and Illinois. This is the remnants of Tropical Storm Barry moving into the area. It's going to give us some rain over the next couple of days. But ahead of it, we might see a couple pop-up showers, even a thunderstorm or two into the overnight hours tonight. Nothing really widespread, Ben. You might get a few showers here or there, but overall, we're going to stay fairly dry, maybe just a few passing storms.
Thank you, Blake. Heavy rain hit northern Kentucky hard this past weekend. The city of Erlanger was hit the hardest. But flooding is nothing new to the city's residents. They say they have to deal with flooding whenever heavy rain hits the area. Residents explained why they believe that the city deals with such frequent flooding.
What's happening is these storm drains can't handle a big storm like this, and these 2 houses are low spots. So all the water collects right here.
Homeowners say they've reached out to the Sanitation District of Northern Kentucky in hopes of finding a permanent solution to their frequent flooding problem. Mitch McConnell, Senate Majority Leader from Kentucky, is taking a stand against people calling the president racist. The Republican shared his message for those angered by President Trump's recent tweets.
Everyone ought to tone down their rhetoric, and we ought to move back to talking about the issues. Well, the president's not a racist. The president's not a racist. And I think the tone of all of this is not good for the country.
Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer claims McConnell has remained silent on what sparked the comments, the president's tweet about 4 female members of Congress. He urged the Majority Leader to first talk about what the president did before talking about other people's reactions. West Virginia State Police are set to increase patrol along a 3-mile section of U.S. Route 35 known for deadly crashes. WSAZ reports there have been 6 deadly crashes on a stretch of highway in Putnam County since May. Trooper Justin Cavender says speed has been a factor in many of the crashes on the road, adding that it seems like people are ignoring speed limit signs. Teresa Curtis founded Athens Food Rescue 4 years ago. Every year they hold a rubber duck derby and family fun Olympics to raise money for the nonprofit. WOUB reporter Allie Eldridge went to this year's event to see if things went swimmingly.
It's our annual fundraiser, the Rubber Duck Derby, and we have Olympic Games where we play kind of field day games and have first, second, and third prize medals for the winners of those games. Then we, at the end of that, race ducks, usually in the river, but this year it was a little too high to be safe to get all the ducks out. So we dumped them in the pool instead. And so this fundraiser helps raise money for us to continue to collect food from donors who have leftover food and then to take it to charities who could use the food. So that is why we have this race every year. I started it 4 years ago. I saw a need. I wanted to volunteer somewhere, and I had been giving food to the Salvation Army food pantry. Saw that there was more of a need than there was enough, not enough food to give to the people coming in. Around that same time, came across an article about a group in California doing food rescue work, and I had never heard of food rescue before. And once I read that article, I was like, oh, that's what I want to do. But then I assumed somebody in Athens was already doing it, because it's a progressive little town, but nobody was doing this exactly. So I ended up having to form my own nonprofit to make it happen. I like playing the games. I like watching people play the games, especially the dress up and run one. I like seeing grown men wear random clothing. And when we do have it in the river, the race, it's a lot of fun too. It's a little intimidating.
Athens Food Rescue has collected over 100,000 pounds of food in the last 4 years from donors around Athens. Donors include restaurants and grocery stores like Kroger, Brennan's Coffee Cafe, Athens Bread Company, and more. You can find more information about the nonprofit at athensfoodrescue.com. Top Republicans continue to defend President Trump following a tweet many are calling racist, and in the fallout following the tweet, House Democrats prepare to pass a resolution. These stories and more when Newswatch returns.
Is member-supported public television. Your contribution keeps WOUB available in your community. Become a member with a gift of $60 or more for access to stream more than 1,000 of your favorite PBS programs through WOUB Passport. Programs like Nature, Sherlock, and all episodes of Downton Abbey and Victoria. Pledge now at WOUB.org. And thank you.
This is a box that showed you a world beyond your own. It was just a box, but the world has changed, and so have we. And now the box can be almost any size or shape. And you decide what you want to explore. Anytime, any place. Break out of the box with PBS.
PBS had a special on Pearl Harbor, and once Landon started watching the show about the Arizona, he completely became fascinated.
That's Donald Stratton, and that's me.
And then his Christmas wish this year was to meet Donald Stratton, one of the survivors from the Arizona.
So good to see you, buddy.
Everything that Landon has learned from PBS, it's immeasurable.
This is for you.
Thank you, big guy.
He is living proof of the effect that PBS has had on his life.
I loved Ken Burns' series on the Civil War. It was deeply impacting. I love history. To have those stories told through these letters, through stories of love and loss, it rewrote the book on how to tell a story. When television was invented, there were a lot of people who had dreams about what it could do. I think PBS still aspires for and often succeeds at reaching the highest ideals of what television could be.
Critics are calling it racist, but President Trump isn't backing down after his recent tweets seemingly attacking progressive Democratic Congresswomen of color. But as Joe Johns reports, the House isn't backing down either. Today they're set to vote on a resolution condemning Trump's tweets.
They hate it, I think, with a passion.
President Trump unapologetic, defending his racist Twitter tirade aimed at 4 Democratic Congresswomen of color, after telling them Sunday to go back to help fix the totally broken and crime-infested places from which they came.
It doesn't concern me because many people agree with me, and all I'm saying, they want to leave, they can leave. Now, It doesn't say leave forever. It says leave if you want.
All 4 congresswomen are U.S. citizens, and 3 of them, Representatives Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Ayanna Pressley, and Rashida Tlaib, were born in the United States. Representative Ilhan Omar, a Somali refugee, moving to the U.S. as a child.
This is a distraction, and we should not take the bait.
The first-term progressives, known as the Squad, fighting back against the president's divisive words.
He does not know how to defend his policies. So what he does is attack us personally. And that is what this is all about.
Sadly, this is not the first, nor will it be the last time we hear disgusting, bigoted language from the president. We know this is who he is.
This is the agenda of white nationalists. And now it's reached the White House garden.
Trump later intensifying his racist clash in another tweet storm, calling the congresswoman anti-American and falsely insinuating Representative Omar, without mentioning her name, is pro-Al-Qaeda. As few as 19 Republicans in Congress denounced President Trump's comments.
I think those tweets are racist and xenophobic. They're also inaccurate.
But most falling short of directly calling Trump's statements racist.
What was tweeted was destructive, was demeaning, was disunifying, and frankly was very wrong.
Other GOP lawmakers backing the president's rhetoric.
I don't think he's racist. I think he's an equal opportunity offender, and I think from time to time some people think that they're special because they got offended by him.
President Trump also going after House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, misrepresenting her Sunday tweet where she wrote, "Trump's mission is making America white again."
Let me tell you, that's a very racist statement. I'm surprised she'd say that.
House Democrats introducing a resolution strongly condemning President Trump.
I'm not asking you, I'm begging you to stop this, please.
When meeting with reporters today, President Trump was asked to elaborate on what countries the predominantly American-born congresswomen were supposed to go home to. Trump adjusted his original statement.
It's up to them. Go wherever they want, or they can stay. But they should love our country. They shouldn't hate our country. You look at what they've said. I have clips right here. The most vile, horrible statements about our country, about Israel, about others.
The answer slightly varies from his original statement, where he said they were to go back to their home country. 3 of the 4 congresswomen he was referencing were born in the United States, and all are legal American citizens. House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy joined many other prominent Republicans in defending the president's tweets. McCarthy defended the president's tweet by saying his tweets were about socialism and not race.
No, and I do not believe the Speaker of the House was racist last week either when those individuals on her side of the aisle who are claiming the president is racist, when they claim she was racist either. I do not believe that. I believe this is about ideology. This is about socialism versus freedom. And it's very clear what the debate is happening.
McCarthy joins the Republican establishment who all defended the tweet. We have a look at the sights of Lilyfest in Hocking County. That story's still ahead.
And we have some dangerous temperatures heading our way, but we also have a cool down in the forecast as well. I have more details about that next on Newswatch. But first, here's a look at stocks of local interest.
WOUB is member-supported public television. Your contribution keeps WOUB available in your community. Become a member with a gift of $60 or more for access to stream more than 1,000 of your favorite PBS programs through WOUB Passport. Programs like Nature, Sherlock, and all episodes of Downton Abbey and Victoria. Pledge now at WOUB.org. And thank you.
I loved Ken Burns' series on the Civil War. It was deeply impacting. I love history. To have those stories told through these letters, through stories of love and loss, it rewrote the book on how to tell a story. When television was invented, there were a lot of people who had dreams about what it could do. I think PBS still aspires for and often succeeds at reaching the highest ideals of what television could be.
What are you doing?
Possibilities. Your day is filled with them.
Reach up, energy in the fingertips, collapse.
TV, play Downton Abbey.
And PBS helps everyone discover theirs. Anytime, anywhere.
Up in the sky, you can see it.
PBS, we're with you for life.
PBS had a special on Pearl Harbor, and once Landon started watching the show about the Arizona, he completely became fascinated.
That's Donald Stratton, and that's me.
And then his Christmas wish this year was to meet Donald Stratton, one of the survivors from the Arizona.
So good to see you, buddy.
Everything that Landon has learned from PBS, it's immeasurable.
This is for you.
Thank you, big guy.
He is living proof of the effect that PBS has had on his life.
Well, welcome back to the Newswatch Weather Center. Right now around the Athens area, we're looking at temperatures in the mid to upper 80s for most of the area. 87 in Ripley, 88 degrees at one spot down there in Ironton, and 85 up in Cambridge. We're under some mostly cloudy conditions at the moment. We might be seeing some rain showers here as we go into the overnight hours tonight. So let's take a look at precipcast. We see over here the remnants of Tropical Storm Barry making its way into the area. It's going to be moving over into the Ohio Valley tomorrow. It's giving some rain showers tomorrow. But beforehand, we might see a couple pop-up showers into the overnight hours tonight. Might be a few storms or two. Nothing to be concerned about, but you might get a little wet on your home if you're going out and about tonight. Tonight in Athens, 73 degrees. We do have that isolated storm possible. Humidity is going to reach 90% tonight, so it's going to be a very humid night out there tonight. South winds of 0 to 5 miles per hour. Taking a look overnight lows tonight around the region, 75 in Ripley, 72 is a cool spot up in Cambridge, New Martinsville, and Newark. So pretty cool conditions up there. 74 in Marietta. We all have that chance of seeing those isolated storms and showers as we go into overnight hours tonight. Tomorrow, hour by hour, daily planner, 8 a.m., 73 degrees. Make sure you grab an umbrella tomorrow morning, heading to work. It's going to be a little rainy out there. We have a 60% chance of rain tomorrow morning. By noon, 77 degrees, 75% chance of some rain showers. Might see some heavy rain at some time, so make sure you're careful if you're driving out there on the roadways. And 4 p.m., 80 degrees. Pretty nice day out there temperature-wise. It's still going to be pretty wet in the evening time, so make sure you watch for potting out there on the roadways. If it's been raining all day, you might be get a few potting spots out there on the roadways. So taking a look at precipcast for tomorrow. Looking at some widespread rain showers for most of the area. Might see some breaks in the showers every once in a while, but for the most part, it's going to be a fairly wet day out there for most of the day tomorrow. I would take a look tomorrow in Athens. 80 degrees for the high temperature. Heat index is going to be up to 85 degrees, so not horrible, but still pretty warm out there. On and off rain showers for most of the day, while south winds at 0 to 5 miles per hour. Around the region tomorrow, 82 in Ripley, 83 in Ironton, one spot up in Columbus at 84 degrees, and 81 over in Cambridge. All of us having those rain showers through most of the day tomorrow. And we take a look at precipcast by tomorrow night. Most of those rain showers are going to be clearing out of the area. Might have a few spotty showers down there along the Ohio River, but those should be clearing out fairly quickly as we go through tomorrow night. I would take a look Thursday in Athens, 92 degrees. Our heat index is going to be 96 degrees. That's going to be the start of a heat wave. And take a look at this on Thursday. This is the heat index for most of the area, reaching 100 degrees out in Ironton, 101 over in Columbus, Newark, and Chillicothe. So it's going to be very hot out there. I would take a look next several days. That heat wave continues into your Friday with some sunshine, 95 degrees on your Saturday, and Sunday, 93 degrees. More evening showers are going to be possible. Ben?
Thank you, Blake. Lily Fest was this past weekend, and Ethan Sands was there to take it all in. He joins us live from the newsroom. Ethan?
Ben, there were around 5,000 people that showed up to Lily Fest this past weekend, and among the musicians and the artists, there was a group called the Misplaced Vikings. The Misplaced Vikings have been going to Lily Fest for the past 3 years at least. At the festival, they show what a lifestyle of a Viking looks like, from skinning animals to firewood dinners to living in the wilderness. Felix Felices is part of the group and says it brings her a sense of community.
The Lost Vikings Horde, or Misplaced Vikings, are my extended family in a way. The camaraderie and family atmosphere within the group has really been beneficial to me in my life. The community of people that make things, and do things and help one another is just incredible and so refreshing.
Yeah.
It really don't ask anything of you other than being their friend. And I think that would be the reason I enjoy so much coming here, is to spend time with these people.
During the festival, Felix actually spent her time mostly doing pottery that they then used for the demonstrations. And reporting live from the newsroom, Ben, that's all I got for you. I'm Ethan Sands.
Thank you, Ethan. Taking a walk in the park, spending some time in the sunshine, we all know that being in the outdoors is good for you. But how does it impact your well-being? A recent study suggests spending time in nature decreases stress. For today's Health Minute, what researchers are saying about making time for sunshine. David Daniel has the story.
Taking a break in your day outside. That's what a study published in the journal Frontiers in Psychology says can help reduce stress levels. In the study, published earlier this year, researchers suggest just 20 to 30 minutes spent in nature each day can significantly improve your mental health. Participants could walk, sit, or both, as long as they took their nature break during daylight hours somewhere green and bright. The study found the hormone which produces stress, cortisol, dropped in participants who were prescribed outdoor relaxation time. They were also advised to avoid using their phones, going on social media, or having conversations. Lead researcher Mary Carol Hunter says she hopes the study will encourage cities to develop well-being programs and green spaces. But the best thing about the so-called nature pill is it's for everyone and free. For today's Health Minute, I'm David Daniel.
Adults who vape may now be finding it easier to stop smoking cigarettes. A study tracked more than 5,000 daily cigarette smokers for 2 years in France. Smokers who used electronic cigarettes or vape pens smoked fewer cigarettes each day and were more than 1.5 times more likely to quit. Researchers also looked at former smokers. They found that those who had vaped were more likely to relapse. The study was published in the journal JAMA International Medicine. The research only looked at adult smokers. An Ohio judge is reviewing a case that may level the playing field for public and private high school athletic programs. And the Southern Ohio Copperheads overcame adversity to be in a playoff position late in the season. Next on Newswatch. But first, let's take a look at what's coming up on your public television station.
Is a box that showed you a world beyond your own. It was just a box, but the world has changed, and so have we. And now the box can be almost any size or shape. And you decide what you want to explore. Anytime, any place. Break out of the box with PBS.
What are you doing?
Possibilities. Your day is filled with them.
Reach up, energy in the fingertips, collapse. TVs play Downton Abbey.
And PBS helps everyone discover theirs. Anytime, anywhere.
Up in the sky, you can see it.
PBS. We're with you for life.
PBS had a special on Pearl Harbor, and once Landon started watching the show about the Arizona, he completely became fascinated.
That's Donald Stratton, and that's me.
And then his Christmas wish this year was to meet Donald Stratton, one of the survivors from the Arizona.
So good to see you, buddy.
Everything that Landon has learned from PBS, it's immeasurable.
This is for you.
Thank you, big guy.
He is living proof of the effect that PBS has had on his life.
WOUB is member-supported public television. Your contribution keeps WOUB available in your community. Become a member with a gift of $60 or more for access to stream more than 1,000 of your favorite PBS programs through WOUB Passport. Programs like Nature, Sherlock, and all episodes of Downton Abbey and Victoria. Pledge now at woub.org. And thank you.
Recruiting and maintaining players, specifically pitchers, has been a concern all summer for the Southern Ohio Copperheads. WOUB reporter Joseph Hennessy has the story on how the Copperheads have adjusted to adversity.
This summer, the Copperheads hope to have at least half of their 30-player roster made up of players that could take to the mound. So losing 9 pitchers to college restriction or injury before the season even started meant head coach Austin Dunphy had to get creative with this post on Facebook and Twitter.
Reached all corners of the country almost and got call after call, and then some local people who knew some guys sent me some names, and then got about 5 pitchers within 2 days this past week. They've helped us tremendously.
Jacob Ladley is one of the new players on the team trying to make a name for himself on the field. The pitcher from Piedmont International University in North Carolina said he was working on his mechanics all summer while also working at a lawn care company, cutting grass 9 to 10 hours a day before head coach Austin Dunphy reached out to him.
I'm cutting grass, I'm running a weed eater, and I'll go lift weights and all that. As a pitcher, I'm using literally every muscle in my body to be able to go out and do what I need to do and to go out and succeed and execute on the mound. And so for me, that's kind of been the hardest part.
Ladley had to drive 7.5 hours to get to Athens to play. He says the road trip was worth it to play for the Copperheads.
I've only been here since Thursday afternoon, and they've been more than welcoming.
Dunphy hopes the new look Cheds can continue to fight and claw for a playoff opportunity in the Great Lakes Summer Collegiate League.
If we stick around and we keep battling the way we have all summer long, we've got a chance to make the postseason, and then got a chance to win the whole thing too.
For WOUB News, I'm Joseph Hennessy.
The Copperheads are a half game back of a playoff spot in the South Division. Their last game of the regular season is next week on the 23rd. The Ohio Supreme Court is allowing a Hamilton County judge to rule on reforms aimed at leveling the playing field between public and private school sports teams. The court ruled earlier today that the judge can properly consider a challenge by a Catholic school athletic league to competitive balance rules implemented by the Ohio High School Athletic Association. The Athletic Association had argued that the courts couldn't interfere to change a bylaw voted in by member schools. And this week marks the 50th anniversary of Apollo 11's historic mission to the moon. 50 years ago today, the Saturn V rocket launched from Kennedy Space Center, Florida, and sent Apollo 11 into orbit. 4 days later, humans landed on the moon for the first time ever. It was Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin in the lunar module Eagle who landed on the moon's surface. The Smithsonian's National Air and Space Museum is hosting a special presentation of Apollo 50, Go for the Moon, this week. And Tuesday through Thursday, there will be a full-size projection of the Saturn V rocket on the Washington Monument. And now let's head over to Blake Hardesty for a final look at our weather.
Well, we're going to have a pretty cold night temperature-wise, looking at 73 degrees for our low temperature. We're going to have an isolated storm possible, but nothing too severe. Humidity is going to be reaching 90% out there. Tomorrow in Athens, 80 degrees for a high temperature. Heat index is going to be 85. We're going to have an isolated storm possible as well tomorrow. Mainly rain showers throughout most of the day. That would take a look next several days. Thursday, 92 degrees. Our heat wave does start for the next several days. Thursday, 94 degrees. The heat index on Friday is going to be reaching up to 105, even up to 110 in some areas. So make sure you stay hydrated out there. Saturday, the heat wave continues, 95 degrees. Sunday, cooling down a little bit to 93 degrees. Sunday with a little bit of some rain showers, but on Monday next week, 78 degrees. So another cool down out there. We might have this extreme heat coming, but there is relief in sight though, Ben.
Yeah, it's good to see that relief coming up. It looks like pretty much all of southeastern Ohio is about to be dealing with that heat wave.
All of the East Coast actually goes from Minnesota down to Florida and clear over to New York. So it's actually pretty hot for most of the area out there.
Wow, we got to be sure that everyone's staying hydrated.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Blake. And that does it for our broadcast tonight. Thanks for watching. For Blake Hardesty, I'm Ben Schwartz. Have a great night.